The Hothead is a returning rocket launcher come back to us from Destiny 1 in Season of the Lost as part of the exclusive Nightfall weapon drops. Well, today I'm going to check out the Hothead, its stats, the god rolls to chase for PVE and PVP, plus how to get the Hothead in Destiny 2. Well, if you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. And if you enjoy this week in video games, consider becoming a channel member by hitting that join button down below. Well, the Hothead is a legendary power rocket launcher with an adaptive frame, meaning it has a well-rounded grip, it's reliable and it's sturdy. So looking at the stats, we got 46 for stability, 52 for handling, 50 for reload speed, 61 for velocity, 75 for blast radius. It's a 20 rounds per minute rocket launcher with one in the magazine. Well, next up, let's have a look at the Hothead God Roll guide. So for PvE, volatile launch, alloy casing, tracking module, and vorpal weapon would be a decent roll. So volatile launch gives you an increased blast radius, but a slight reduction in velocity and handling. Alloy casing greatly increases the reload speed at a small cost of stability. The tracking module adds tracking to rockets, and vorpal weapon does increase damage to bosses. Well, for PvP, confined launch, high velocity rounds, quick draw, and explosive light would be a decent roll. So confined launch gives you more stability and blast radius at the cost of a little bit of velocity, and high velocity rounds gives you more velocity and reload speed, and quick draw gets that weapon in your hands nice and fast, and finally explosive light increases the blast radius and damage after picking up an orb of power. Well, next up, let's have a look at how to get the Hothead in Destiny 2. So to get that Hothead, you are going to need to run Nightfalls when this weapon is available. At the time of making this guide, the weapon is available now until reset next Tuesday. Well, this one is a random drop from the end of Nightfalls, and the higher the Nightfall difficulty level, and the more likely the chances for this weapon to drop for you. Well, this week is a great chance to get it because Lake of Shadows is a Nightfall, and you can do runs in about 5 minutes with a focused speed run through that Nightfall. But this season, the Nightfall weapons are dropping in pairs, so you get one new weapon and one old one. For example, last week it was the Comedian and Shadow Price, and this week it's Hung Jury and the Hothead. Personally, I'd run Legend or Master Nightfalls a bunch, and you should get the Hothead to drop in no time at all. Well, that is a little bit about the stats for the Hothead, the god rolls to chase for PvP and PvE, and how to get it. But next up, let's have a look at the Hothead lore. So the last few seasons have been excellent in terms of storytelling, and this season is absolutely no different as we work our way towards the Witch Queen. So we've got the Hothead lore. Think of it as a weaponized temper tantrum. Well, Zavala swung off his sparrow in a rocky gulch near the EDZ. Across the Washay Cabal Legendary leaned next to a small shuttle, and a Scion stood at attention nearby. "You Zavala?" the Legionary called. Zavala tried not to feel slighted. "I am Commander Zavala," he answered. The Legionary squinted and nodded slowly. "Had to make sure. Security stuff." "Let's do this quick." The Legionary pointed a fat finger at the Scion. "This Scion is going to ask you a question, then you tell me your answer, and I go and tell Empress Keitel, and that is all." "What kind of question?" Zavala asked. The Legionary shrugged. "Only the Scion and Empress Keitel know. Safest that way." Zavala warily approached the Scion and stared into him with its single eye. Zavala felt his ears ring. His hand went to his sidearm, but a vision sprang to his mind, vivid and fully formed. Zavala saw the dreaming city. He saw Cabal ships filling the sky, spewing oily smoke. Then an explosion. A sea of explosions, violent red and black with the fury of planet killers, unmakers, but concentrated, refined, perfect for the size of the task at hand. He saw death for all in the dreaming city, bodies face down in the crystal grit of their palace, Marasov, Petrovenge, Corsairs, countless awoken, collateral. For at the bottom of a crater was the shattered body of a crystal-bound hive god, destroyed at her most vulnerable moment, her trickery silenced forever. Then a war, yes, horribly, but a small one. And behind it, blood on 2 pairs of hands, too willing to pay the price for peace. No. Zavala broke the Scion's gaze, and the vision stopped abruptly. The legionary grunted, "That your official answer?" Zavala straightened. "My answer is no," he said clearly. The legionary nodded. "Fair enough," it said, and took a half step back from the Scion. The Scion punched a code into a small wrist-mounted screen. There was a brief chime, a muffled pop, and the Scion slumped to the ground, blood pouring from a wound in its head. Zavala reached for his weapon again, but the legionary laughed and held up a hand. The volunteers knew that was part of the deal. Now, nobody knows what the question was except for you and the Empress. Safest that way. "Gotta go and tell her your answer," the Cabal called as it climbed into the shuttle. "I do hope you make the right choice." The craft chugged into the sky, its jet splattering Zavala's boots with the Scion's blood. Well, really interesting stuff there from the lore, and it looks like this story that we've got in the Dreaming City is going to develop. So first of all, we had Keitel wondering whether to attack the Dreaming City, and now we have Zavala having visions of an attack on the Dreaming City. There's a really interesting line there in the middle where it said, "For at the bottom of a crater was the shattered body of a crystal-bound hive god, destroyed at a most vulnerable moment, her trickery silenced forever." Well, it certainly is going to be interesting to see what the Cabal do. It feels like fingers are on the trigger at the moment, and it could just simply kick off at any time. Well, let me know in the comments what you think of the Hothead rocket launcher, and let me know what roles you got. And that is it for this guide for how to get the Hothead in Destiny 2. And as always, thank you so much for watching. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. If you want to join the community, check out the Discord link in the description, or you can follow me on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.
One told by the scribes of House Judgment. Before the great machine, Helixni were hounded by Skira, the Watcher. A shape